today because it's a student period. So we have all of these talented writers behind me. And before we get to them, just like some quick little thank yous. Thank you to the boosters who help us with the money to put this all together. We do these like side hustles with like the bracelets and the suckers, but like it really takes some big money to bring people in. So thank you. And then admin, tech crew up there. A little shout out to tech crew. Come on, come on. And then obviously, and many staff members who support me, so thank you. So we're going to get started. And our first speaker is Megan Castillo-Reyes. So welcome Megan to the stage, everybody.
Hi, I'm Megan. And first I would like to shout out Miss ODU's fourth period class. This is a spoken word piece that I wrote, and it's called To the Young Girl I Carry. When I was younger, I was told many things much as any other kid was told. I was told to act a certain way, be a certain way, present myself a certain way. But within these words, I felt confined to the rules that my mother wrote with her mouth. The very rules that were tattooed on my adolescent hand as a reminder to myself for the rules that were laid out to me. My father expected me to be tough, strong, resilient, and my mother expected me to be sharp, neat, orderly. I stood by these long-living expectations and standards, searching for a way for myself to take those steps. But the stairs became steeper, and my legs grew shorter, and I grew so small I started to fit into the caged room they put me in. I mindlessly paced the room, ignoring all the Legos and building blocks that sat next to my bed, wondering if one day I will ever pick them up again. And with roaring words echoing off my eardrums, I set myself straight. But even with my efforts, I was still not seen. I wondered if I could ever satisfy the definition of the words that were written for me. But do I consider the fact I was only 8, only 9, 10, 11, 12? I stretched myself to become a tall child, and I started to wish to become the grown little girl they imagined me to be. So I blindly walked through my thoughts, ignoring every possible distraction that came to me. My friends, playing in the park, learning how to ride a bike, digging through mud to find small insects and worms, dancing in the rain, drawing with chalk on a sidewalk, a childhood I yearned to have. I did have my moments and small little memories I created, but was it ever enough to make up for the dreams I buried deep into the soil where my roots were supposed to lay? Yeah, I still looked out my bedroom window every night, watching the sunset as the moon rises. I wondered if one day I could look up in the sky and the stars that paint it and ever become my own, apart from the world just existing in its own peaceful universe. Now, growing up, as I take my walks home, I watch the same sunset and the same moon, pondering myself in thought with my new perceptions. I've grown to be bright, free-spirited, young. I realize I don't have to allow the standard of my parents kill the young girl I carry. And I saw the words that were once tattooed on my hand fading, and the thoughts that filled my head shattered. Nonetheless, the young girl still roams inside of me, and she returns back to the very same room, picking up those toys, the toys she never got to hold, and she stares at them for a moment, letting it sit on the palm of her hand, and a tear falls down her small face. So to the girl who never got to run in a field, who never got to pick dandelions off the grass, who never got to catch bugs in between the cages of her fingers, let her play Reuben. Allow her to roam the grass, touch the waters, and jump in the puddles of mud. I can't be there to tell her who she is, what she wants, or how to grow. But I can be the one to tell you that it's okay to let them go. So as I take further strides, I pick her up from my lap and set her free. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ethan. Shout out Touchers Ford. Today I'll be reading my Common App essay. It's titled Temple of Hercules. Julius Caesar stood in the Temple of Hercules, gazing in awe at the statue of Alexander the Great. He then fell to his knees, sobbing. The influential general and politician of the Roman Republic broke down and wept in front of the statue of his hero, Alexander the Great. Caesar was almost twice Alexander's age, and he conquered less than half the land. Alexander wrote history, and Caesar felt like he was a mere page in the history books. The statue of my grandpa towers over me. Nicknamed the Bull, my grandpa wrote his own history, standing out from his peers in Malaysia. It was impossible for his presence to be unnoticed. Standing at 6 feet with broad shoulders and a booming voice. Expectations from him were high, and he met them when he moved to Chicago to pursue his dream of becoming a brewmaster. He graduated as a brewmaster and won multiple international competitions. Like Alexander, he conquered. And although no one pressured me to be anything like my grandfather, I couldn't help but have the desire to be as successful as him. His statue towers over me, and even though I'm not twice his age yet, being around his infectious persona has sparked a fire in me. I wanted to be him, see the world, and leave a great impact on the people around me. I once asked my grandpa, how do I become a brewmaster? How do I become you? He smiled, placing his hand on my shoulder. You can't let the people that came before you decide who you become. You have to find your own passion that makes you happy. So I would set off on my own quest to find my own Temple of Hercules, where I could find my own Alexander the Great, my own purpose to drive me forward. Unlike Caesar, my hero was alive and breathing, and he's the reason why I spend time every day cultivating myself to be closer to my full potential. Whatever that may be. My grandpa's words live on in my heart. If the way you are today is better than the way you were yesterday, you're succeeding. So every day, I develop all areas of my life just like he did. If I'm in the gym, I'll do one more rep than I did last time. If I'm drawing, I'll draw something new. If I'm writing, I'll write from a completely different perspective. No matter what I do, I can't get rid of this hunger to be greater. And I can't imagine that Caesar felt the same way. I'm both the sculptor and the sculpture. And every action I take is a chisel towards who I want to be. But who did I want to be? I was at a loss. My grandpa told me to find my own path instead of being like him. So whose image would I make myself akin to? One day, during my architectural internship, I was on the Chicago Architecture Walking Tour. I stood in awe in front of the Chicago Board of Trade building located at the end of the street. Its throne-shaped structure radiating the strength it has as the seat of economic power in the city. I was surrounded by architecture that in many ways defined this great city that has given millions of people the memories of a lifetime. I had found my Temple of Hercules, and sitting on the throne that is the Board of Trade building was my own statue. From that day on, I knew I would be an architect that would create memories for people just like my grandpa created memories for me. Caesar left the Temple of Hercules, crossed the river Tigris, and changed the world, and so will I.
Hi everyone, my name is Clara. I actually have 2 shout-outs today. So, of course, shout out to my 4th hour AP Lane class. It was so great. And then secondly, I'd like to shout out my best friend for kind of being the inspiration for 2 out of the 3 poems I'm going to read for you guys today. And I centered them around the concept of loss. So I'm going to have a little concept warning. These I'm going to read do contain grief and loss. And if that is something that makes you uncomfortable, feel free to step outside for a little bit. But I hope you enjoy. The first piece I wrote for you guys today was Old Habits Die Hard. Monday, I saw your favorite book series on display at the mall. I bought it and put it on your shelf. Tuesday, I accidentally brewed 2 cups of coffee instead of 1. What a waste. Wednesday, I found my favorite piano duet, only to realize I'm missing my other set of hands. Thursday, Miley sat at the door waiting for you to come home from work, her tail wagging softly in excitement. But the door never opened, and she walked away defeated. Friday, I set the table for 2 accidentally and had to spend an extra 5 minutes putting away dishes. Saturday, I passed by your room thinking the light would be on, keyboard clicking, only to be met with an uncomfortable silence and cold emptiness. Sunday, I went into your room and brushed the dust that had collected on those very same books, their spines uncracked and pages pristine. Every mundane thing I do reminds me of your absence, buying in pairs, grabbing a table for 2. Memories are bittersweet when I realize there's no more we, just me. I guess old habits die hard. And then the second piece I wrote was kind of more about like teenage angst, being heartbroken. So, of course, the next piece I titled Heartbroken. I'm heartbroken again. The icky feeling is back. It seeps into my skin, pollutes my mind, and robs my heart of that fuzzy feeling I once called love. I'm heartbroken again, left to pick up the pieces by myself, while you walk away unbothered and free. It was only when I was heartbroken that I finally realized you were never in love with me. You were in love with the idea of being in love, and I guess the idea didn't include me. And the last piece I wrote is actually my favorite. I based it off of actually my current favorite show right now, but it's called Blue Spring. You were the conductor of the symphony inside my heart, a medley of intricate tunes woven together with a flick of your wrists. Vivid blue splotches paint my once blank canvas an elegant array of striking colors. Blinded by the innocence of our adolescence and new beginnings, I'm reminded of our youth. Those 3 years are wild and free like stray cherry blossoms blown in the spring wind. You were the artist and I was the art, holding my heart with and capturing every smile. Surely these moments would last forever, I thought silently inside my head. But with every symphony comes the finale, and with every moment comes a memory. Do you still think of me as much as I think of you? The distance between us grows, each passing day, as our paths stray further and further away. Our time we spent together seems foreign, almost like a dream, seeing that I can't remember every detail of our encounter. Even so, I can't help but cling to the fragile memories we created. You were the first and last warm spring. The 3 years of our blue spring lasted an eternity in my heart. How could I ever forget our days of blissful youth? Together, alone together. Thank you. And next to the podium, please welcome Brenda.
Well, hi, my name is Brenda Cayente, and before I begin, I would like to give a shout out to Mr. Anderson's fourth period class. So, what I'll be reading today is just like a short essay I did on, well, it's part of a project for Mr. Anderson's class. It was a shareable draft, and this is just about my grandpa, our relationship, and what it means to me, our connection. And it's titled "Find Roots of Friendship." He was tired. I think he has always been. But he was good at knowing how to hide me, or even at least he did some for me. After school, all I could do was play outside until dark and wait for him before going to sleep. Once I heard the door shut, I was sure he was finally gone. I could hear him putting his keys away, while his heavy steps were getting closer. As I peeked through the window, I could see his expression change once he got closer to the living room. He had a smile on his face now, one that I can't seem to forget. We would have conversations about our days, but actually only about mine. I never asked about his. I'm sure he would have liked to keep it that way. But his way of showing love for his family was always through fine music. My dad would tell me that when he was a kid, my grandpa would make them hot chocolate and buy bread on his way home for him and his siblings. Now that my dad was gone, and my uncles too, all he had left was me. I was the only kid who would run around the house and patiently wait until he was home. I would like to think that those conchas were special. They are a traditional pan dulce, which translates to sweet bread. They have sugar-filled stripes on them, and their name comes from the seashell. Grandpa used to tell me the lady who sold them lived by the bus station since he left home until he came back. With 10 pesos, he could at least buy 5, and to him that was more than enough. Those pesos meant we would be able to create another memory, one more added to the many that I would only be able to keep in my heart because they are slowly fading. His hot chocolate recipe only needed 3 simple ingredients: cinnamon, milk, and chocolate abuelita. Chocolate abuelita is a hot chocolate brand that has been a tradition in Mexican households, but what always stood out to me was the name. Abuelita translates to grandma. Mine could not watch me grow up and neither watch me eat either, which I hope grandpa will have done so. It has not been the same since I left, and now I wonder what he does after work.
now sits alone at the dining table with a cup of hot chocolate and a goja. I never dared to ask in his ear what he would respond. Maybe he would have told me the truth, but deep in his heart, he knew that it would hurt to admit it. Just like it hurts for me to think that there's no one to share my life with. My grandpa, or as I like to call him, Abuelito, is my only person. He's like those ships first drives, and so that his are not anymore. I often think about his soul. How he has one that I can only describe as beautiful, with his pure love and fragility that every time we have to say goodbye, I find myself holding back tears. They are not tears of sadness, but rather tears of hope. Hope we can get to spend another night eating pan dulce, but this time I'll ask about him. I'll ask about how his day was and what he plans to do the next day. I just want to get to know him, to have one more memory with him. My happiness always came from knowing that on weekends he could stay home. Now that I think about it, he never complained about having to play with dolls or making my cakes with me. Not even when I can see through my bedroom door on January 6th that he was carefully placing my gifts under the tree. Or when for my birthday he bought me 2 Spider-Man piñatas just because he thought I would like them, which I did. He gave me the opportunity to experience a childhood that I'm sure any kid would have wanted. With pan dulce and chocolate abuelita, it was more than enough. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sarah. I'd like to give a couple shout outs. First to Miss Morena's 4th period class. Second to Miss Morena's 7th period class. And third to all my friends and family who sit through all of my anxious worries. I will be reading my college essay. Growing up, I was limited. I had severe asthma to the point that if I laughed a little too long or a little too hard, my lungs would give out. Every time I had an episode, it felt as if my lungs were under attack by tiny little spurs of anger, and they wanted me dead. So comparable to my mental health. I've always had anxiety, but the degree was that of a child. Worrying about play dates, not wanting to go to bed, and miss the party that was my parents sitting on the couch watching TV before they went to bed. As the years progressed, my childhood worries dissipated, and the looming fear of hopelessness and dread overwhelmed me. Diagnosed with severe depression, it felt as if I was sitting at the bottom of the ocean with weights tied to my ankles. The air inside my body constantly taunting and threatening me to leave and never come back. I needed to not feel so alone. The fire within me that kept me standing strong was burning out. I went to multiple therapists to learn coping strategies and tried numerous hobbies to distract me. I had the support of my family, but it didn't feel like it. Then I started high school and was swept away by all new variations of emotions. My heart raced and my body trembled like a speeding train rumbling down its tracks. I let the current drag me under. But then I found friends that loved me unconditionally. They showed me I wasn't alone with a simple smile. I also started taking art more seriously. It wasn't a silly little project in elementary school. It was a way to express myself and a way to take my worries away, even for just a moment. Putting pencil to paper keeps my anxiety at bay. My depression is no longer an influence when I run my brush loaded with paint across a canvas. It's just me and my art. I am at home. I learned that even when I'm feeling unmotivated and lost, just like with my asthma, I can overcome it with help, whether it's with a rescue inhaler or accepting support from family and friends. I still struggle sometimes, and there are moments when I sit in those dark feelings, but I know now that there are people and things that can help relight the fire and show me a way out of the darkness. I learned you can't get help unless you're open to accepting it. I will always try my best not to let my anxieties or worries control me and instead float and rock like waves. While I navigate my way throughout my last year of high school, I cannot contain my trepidation and excitement of starting a new chapter of my life. While college may not be as easy as it is in the movies, I will continue to strive to follow my passions of adventure, music, animals, and art. The idea of taking the next steps as an artist and a person gives me butterflies, queasy, exhilarating butterflies. Knowing myself, I will most definitely get overwhelmed by the future I will find myself in, but I will look back and remember to take the good with the bad, that cheesy but truthful quote, "It's okay not to be okay." I was inspired to remember to always keep a smile on my face. And perhaps one day I could be the one to relight the fire in someone else for a change. As I follow my dream of becoming an artist, I hope I can show others that whatever they are going through, I'm going through it too. To show them that they aren't alone, that they can take their struggles and morph them into beautiful symbols of how they've grown, overcome, and survived.
Before I begin, I want to shout out Miss Curtis' fourth period class. All right, I just want to give some context really quick. I'm going to be publishing a book in March 2024 called The Coin, and I would like to share the first chapter of it. I was walking home after a long day at school. It was a nice day, and the sun's warmth on my face felt wonderful as I walked. A couple blocks from my house, a family hosted a garage sale. This garage sale had chairs, books, and recipes from the 1950s. Family hosting the garage sale was the Davidsons. They were the family who hosted block parties every year and gathered the entire neighborhood to celebrate. When I was walking past the house, Mr. Davidson called me. "Hey Jason, come check this out," Mr. Davidson yelled loudly. "Okay, I'm coming," I replied. I walked to Mr. Davidson and he immediately handed me a single penny, which was no longer enough to buy gumbo. "This penny is very special. It will make difficult decisions for you. Just flip it," he explained. I looked at the penny. It was dirty, old, and had traveled through many hands. I told Mr. Davidson I heard pennies would soon become extinct because of the lack of usage. Even the government's going to try to stop making them. I said to Mr. Davidson I would keep the penny as a collector's item, but Mr. Davidson explained it was a penny used to make decisions, flipping the penny. I did not give much consideration to what Mr. Davidson said about the penny, but thanked him for it. "Thanks for the penny. I'll try it out when I get home." "Okay, thanks for stopping by," I responded. I left the garage sale and began walking the rest of the way home. The sun started to set, and I started to feel the temperature dropping. As I walked, I wondered about the penny and what Mr. Davidson told me. I was thinking so much about the penny that I nearly forgot I had a math test tomorrow. It was a big test, and I needed to study for it. I started walking quickly to my house so I'd have more time to study for the test. The math test was focused on probability. As I turned the corner and headed down the street to my house, I heard sirens going off. A police officer stopped by the curb and exited the patrol car. "Where are you going to so fast?" questioned the police officer. "I need to get home to study for a test," I responded. "Are you running from something?" "No, I'm trying to get home," I responded. "I don't believe you. Actually, I have an idea," said the police officer. "Do you have a penny?" I was confused. I asked myself why he was asking for a penny. What was he trying to do? "Yes, but it's a collector's item." "Take it out," said the police officer. I took it out of my pocket and showed it to the police officer. "Flip the coin. Heads, I let you go. Tails, I will bring you to the station for questioning." Wait, he wants me to flip the coin? I did not understand what was happening. I thought about it for a moment, but I remembered what Mr. Davidson told me. The coin can make decisions. "I will flip the coin," I declared. As the coin flipped in the air, I questioned why a coin was deciding my fate. The coin finally landed on the concrete. "Heads, you are free to go." I was stunned. The police officer walked back to his car and drove off. I walked in disbelief as I approached my house. The nighttime air was cool and gave me the chills. So I quickly opened the front door to my house when I arrived. My mom walked down the stairs and yelled at me. "You're late! I was worried! Go to your room!" my mom shouted. I quickly dropped my bags on the kitchen counter and ran to my bedroom. I couldn't stop thinking about the coin and the police officer. The coin consumed my thoughts, and I did not study for the math test. I wondered if I could use the coin while taking my math test. Flipping the coin, which only has two possibilities, or a math test on probability, I wonder what would happen. Next up is Remy.
Hello. I don't look very good. That's because I woke up very late. Oh, thank you. So my name's Remy. I am just like an all-medium artist. So I sing, I songwrite, I play instruments, I've painted, I've tried sculpting. It's not easy. I've film things, I take photographs, write, act, produce. I do like anything that I can get my hands on. But today I'm going to be sharing some poems because my New Year's resolution was to self-publish a collection of my poems. Before I begin, I do want to give some shout-outs. I like fully believe that like we are like all connected as like a human species. So to anyone that I've ever met or interacted with or looked at, you have shaped me somehow into the person that I am now. And so thank you. But I have specific ones. I'm going to shout out Mr. A because I was in his English class last year and it was very nice. I'm going to shout out Bennett, who's over there. Hi, Bennett. I'm going to shout out Luca. I don't know where they are right now, but Luca's somewhere, and Luca's awesome. And then Jeannie, who's over there, and Noah, because he gave me competition in the poetry slam. And my two best friends, Kira and Savannah, they don't go to this school, but they're awesome. And AJ, who did Writers Week last year and inspired me. And then Mr. Heritage's class, fourth period. Yay! And finally, the best person in the world, my dad. Hi, Dad. I love you. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking. Here's the first poem. It's called When the River Runs Dry. When the river runs dry and the songbirds stop singing, when the bees don't make pollen anymore, when the sky is yellow and the fire is rainbow, when the flag doesn't wave in the wind, when the dance is not moving and mermaids start drowning, when a magic wand doesn't make mice into men, when honey is not sweet and chairs are for standing, when Disney raids are and my teddy loses his stuffing, that's when I will stop loving you. Second one is called Into the Woods. The leaves crunch under my feet, chapped and rough around the heel. The birds chirp softly, as if anything louder will break open my body like a soft dinner roll, my lungs exposed and blossoming with roses and hyacinths. My heart beating as it always has, steady and strong. The river a few meters east can be heard among the chorus of crickets and small frogs, a community rooted in nests of twigs and milkweed, and the forest floor is littered with helicopter seeds, maple leaves and pine needles. There is much to discover among the abundance. The cold nips at my fingertips and shoulders, but does not bite, and the forest continues. Dirt kneads its way under my nails, and the sun is bright with a promise for a better someday. A small bluebird swoops down to peck at the seeds of the ground. A shimmer in the air leads me to believe the fairies are watching. The river approaches my vision, cold and clear, rolling across smooth stone and guiding the bluegills to a new beginning. You can see the marks of beings from eras ago in this unpolluted stream. No human has touched it. I leap over this primal gold, and what greets me? A fawn in the woods, a new tomorrow. Next one is called Native Tongue. My native tongue is English, but I have a few others under my belt. From the time I was born and even before, my mother spoke to me in Spanish, so I'm quite fluent in it, I think. When I learned of my Sicilian heritage, I began learning Italian as well. One day I decided I wanted to become a polyglot, so I took to German and Indonesian as well because someone on YouTube said it was the easiest language to learn. Then a choir director introduced me to a Korean song, and guess what language I upgraded my Duolingo status with? When I was 12 in Spanish class, I learned a phrase, corazón de arroz, literally translates to heart of rice. It's similar to the greeting, see you later, alligator, in that it rhymes, and without lingual context, it will make no sense. I found that in Finnish, instead of boyfriend or girlfriend, they say molkvisti, one I don't hate as much as the others. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right because I don't speak Finnish yet. In Japanese, there's a certain word which, if you do not pronounce correctly, will translate to testicles. And probably one of my favorite lingual quirks, Spanish accents. Los acentos are a key part of the language, although I've heard many native users ignore them. You could say, mi papá tiene 47 años. My dad is 47 years old. He's not. He's 42. More literally, he has 47 years. Or, mi papá tiene 47 años. Emphasis on the first a in papa, no bien in años. My potato has 47 anuses. In German, every noun is capitalized as if to show that they all have importance. Or maybe whoever created German just had a little bit too much beer. But you know what's funny? Every
language is unique in their own way, that's true, and I think it's a good reflection of our species. I think it says a lot about people in general. Before I dove into the deep end of language learning, I never would have known such a thing as corazón de arroz exists. Humans are the same way. On the surface, everyone sees us for our culture, our style, etc. When you get to the nitty-gritty, you'll find their moral rules equivalent to linguistic guidelines. Their accents, their vocabulary, their traditions are all unique to themselves. Language is based on the people which create it, and people are based on their languages. And as long as you speak the language, you'll never be alone in it. Corazón de Arroz isn't just nonsense, it's like an inside joke. And everyone's in it, so you're never alone. I have 3 more for you, and then I will be done. Okay, flip the page. There are times in my life when I think I won't make it. There are times when I want to tear my skin off and let it end already. There are days that mark the end of a habit and the start of a life. There have been periods, and my therapist knows, that I would like to end that life. And I never do, because there are other ways to end a life, and there are other ways to begin one too. I want to start over, or maybe just quit, but I always find a way. I always find ways to make my voice heard. I always find people that want to hear my stories. In my eyes, a life is like a book. Mine has chapters. They're dog-eared and crinkled and messy, and the spine's been glued a few times. Already. I'm too young for that. My book has chapters with beginnings and ends, the start of a habit and the end of a habit and the start of a life. But it's not done yet, and it might not be my favorite, but I want to see how it ends. And then these are very short ones, so we'll make it quick. Weeping Willow. Someday, my love, you will find greener pastures, stretching wide like the never-ending sea, the stars burning bright in the sky for all to admire, the deer frolicking and the fillies in the river. It may hurt now, but to you I promise you will never hurt again, deep in the Weeping Willow woods. And my last one is Swollen Heart. Being forgotten is so much harder than being lost. This world is cruel, and so you are allowed to grieve what you once had. Next up, we have Treasure Ndiamowe.
Y'all know it's February 1st. It's Black History Month. Not a single person has said Happy Black History Month to me today. So, y'all are going to. I'm going to say 1, 2, and then on 3, y'all are going to say Happy Black History Month treasure. Okay? Okay. 1, 2. Happy Black History Month. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. I have 2 pieces for y'all today. I had to get that done. Just so you know. Okay, so I have 2 pieces. One of them is like low key, like this is like I'm dusting the cobwebs off of this one. It's called Currency. I wrote it like first semester junior year, which is almost like 2 years ago now. It's crazy. And then the next piece is a song. That's my piano over there. That's my baby. Just in case y'all ain't know. That's my girl. Okay? All right. Let me read the first piece. Let me get the meat and potatoes. Currency. My attention is like currency. You buy and sell with it, but you never want me. If I look at you, then you're the man, counting out dollars in your hands. My attention is like currency. You wish to buy and sell with me, but what you build with all that money is something that I will never get to see. See, it was never about me. Just you and all the man that you claim to be. See, I'm no stranger to absurdity, but it's clear to see that my attention is the source of your security. It's sad, really. How you need me. You want me but don't need me but don't want me. Need me and want me, but refuse to have me because love is free. My price tag proves that you earned something. What can you sell if no one's there to buy it? My price tag proves that you worked for me. Men, look, I did what you couldn't. Pathetic, really. My attention is your currency. You make love to your imagination,
tell people it really happened just to elevate your station. Man, the girls must think I'm pimping. And I watch you from a distance, in awe of your creations. The stories you spin make me feel like a prize to win. But don't all trophies go on a shelf eventually? You wish to shelve me away so you can stare at and admire me coldly, and from a safe distance where you know that everyone is watching, you announce to everyone dramatically, say you shed blood for your cause, and you humbly smile, holding for applause. You're all the man you wanted to be, all because you bought with me. Airtime, pictures on a screen, not because you wanted me, but because you planned yourself so carefully. My attention is your currency. Your credit score is what people think you scored, regardless of if I regarded you never with anything else but scorn. I looked at you, I spoke to you, I paid attention to you, I rewarded you, never for anything that was ever yours. Now, look at you. I bet you could make some more. Live a life of bliss. Get the whole world at your fingertips. Thank you. Now we migrate over here. Oh gosh, I don't have enough time. I wrote this song in August of 2023.
a big round of applause. Just a real quick question while Megan's getting ready to do an extra piece, so we're going to welcome Megan back up here. Clara, what was the show? Dawson wants to know.
It's actually, I'm exposing myself right now, but it's actually an anime, Jujutsu Kaisen season 2.
You embarrassed her. Good job, Dawson. I don't know. All right, you ready? And then I have a question just in case.
Okay, so this is a piece I wrote. It's a poem. And it's called A Petal or Two. A flower contains a few things: a stem, maybe some leaves, and a petal or two. A long stem with a few leaves that follow its spine, and a bud full of petals. You can place them in a vase, snipping the ends of the stem, maybe picking a few leaves off just in hopes they would last a little longer. But as you let them sit on your desk and time passes by, they begin to wilt. A curving stem, shriveled leaves, begging to come off, and wilting petals. Petals continue to fall off the bud, and you try to catch them, hoping to have them last a little longer. But you soon realize flowers are meant to wilt, they are meant to shrivel, they are meant to die. Flowers may pass and no longer stay, but the memory of you is like a petal or two. So maybe I still pick them up, knowing that they are a reminder of you. Thank you.
All right, I have a quick question for Jonathan, especially since Remy, one of your resolutions is to be published this year, right? You got a lot of stuff, so I think you got some good chances of that. But Jonathan, how do you go about getting published for something?
Well, one thing for sure is there's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of paperwork you gotta do. Yeah. Everyone loves it.
That's it?
Yeah, there's a lot of paperwork.
Get a lawyer or something to do your paperwork for you? Okay, Treasure, you got anything? Okay, do we have one? Yeah, one more. Come on, get out up here. Let's go. Let's welcome Treasure back up here.
This one is really short. I wrote this about a friend that passed away recently. It's called A New Year in March. I am running into a new year. I am running from guilt and from fear. And though my past threatens to haunt me, I continue to hold those memories dear. Today is the burning of memories like weapons. White winter pains of mass destruction. Tomorrow it's spring, and flowers and trees. Pretty pink flowers dancing in the breeze, out with the flames of yesterday. The wading through pools of growing pains, in with the fire of a sprouting new day. The white winter snow all washed out. A bright day in March. The sound of her name. The delicate sound. A joyous sound.
That was beautiful. Okay, so one last round of applause, and then tomorrow, tomorrow everybody we have band boys for an hour, so get here like immediately. Don't take my seats. All right, have a wonderful day, everybody. Happy Thursday. See you tomorrow.